Hey everybody, it's Brad from Snake Eater Performance, and I wanted to go over with you just what it takes here at Snake Eater Performance to get one of our exclusive one-star reviews. And so you see here, we got a customer package back. Their tuner was claiming that the fuel was not atomizing in one injector and completely closed in another injector. And so we said, hey, send them back. We'll show you that they're just fine because this tuner is a total tool. It's been proven time and time again. And so here we go, we're opening the package. This is my tech, Craig. A lot of you guys have probably talked on the phone. And the first thing he's going to do is take some photos down inside the filter baskets, and we're going to go ahead and show you guys those filter basket photos in a picture-in-picture along the way. This is kind of how we do every injector service. The only thing that we're not going to do on this one today is go to the ultrasonic bath, because we're going to go straight to flowing these, just because they're not super. Look at that. Yeah, buddy. Wonder what that is. And as you can see, there's the photo on the laptop screen. And you know, as long as they're not covered completely in grease on the outside, we can put them straight onto the flow bench. But if there's anything too gnarly on the outside, then we won't, just because we don't want to contaminate the fluid. But yeah, there you go. And so Craig's gonna go through and take a photo of each and every one of these injectors. That one's not so bad. Looks pretty good. And then here's a pretty solid one. You have some, looks like maybe braided fuel line fibers, stainless steel fiber or something in there, and then quite a bit of contamination down in the bottom as well as the sides. And so because the injector basket allows fuel through the sides and not directly through the bottom, you tend to see it caking around the sides because the fuel will just kind of force it up against that filter mesh. So there's that. And there's another one there. Got some contamination in there. Not the best picture, but enough. Okay, this looks like another one that's not too bad. Still see some contaminants in there, especially in that bottom left, but overall not too bad. This one, if I remember correctly, looks pretty good. Yeah, a little bit of contamination in there, nothing major. You know, the filter basket is meant to stop some stuff, but it's not really a true approved 5 micron or 10 micron filter. So you don't want to rely on it. It's meant for just kind of collateral filtration, you know, emergency stuff. Okay, that one overall not too bad either. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and speed through some of these parts. And this is where Travis is going to take over. Travis operates the machinery, Greg does as well, but Travis has already got the machinery set up here. And as you can see, injectors are going to go on the machine. Okay, so the injectors are loaded in the machine, and the first thing we're going to do is warm the injectors up to kind of eliminate any variation that can come from the injectors being cold, coming right out of the package and whatnot. So we run them at 50% duty cycle, 43 psi, and we slowed it down here just so you can see they're atomizing very well, because the tuner says that they were not atomizing and one was one was dumping fuel and one was not atomizing, you know, to paraphrase. And you see here they are at 110 psi. Solenoid still very capable of providing a solid flow, and look at the atomization, looks excellent. I mean, it doesn't really get much better than that. It's very nice. Okay, now that the tech Travis has purged the injectors of any air and gotten the injectors up to a consistent temperature, he's going to go ahead and run the first test. And right now he's just setting the fuel pressure at 43 psi. You can see he was making some adjustments till it gets going there. And so you're going to see a little bit of alteration in flow, but that is not terrible. And that is on the high duty cycle that we test at. That's about 75% duty cycle. And so you have, roughly 4% there deviation. Just guessing. I wasn't there in person. I didn't see it, but just from what I saw right there, it looked like it was about 4%. When you're testing to 50 mLs, each hash line is worth 2%. Just raw math. And that one looked like maybe the worst possible variation was 2 hash lines. So this one's going to be your low flow. This one is about 25% duty cycle, and we're going to run one more test in addition to this, which we consider like the idle test. It's in addition to the standard ASNU testing protocols, but we do that to provide additional flow matching down low. It's at 2.5 milliseconds, and that really translates to about 1.5 milliseconds because the machine does not have a method for adapting for or adjusting for offset or injector dead time. So it just puts out a raw 2.5 milliseconds. And just kind of knowing what we know with this injector, it's around 0.9 to 1.1 milliseconds. So you're going to be just outside of the nonlinear zone is what we're hoping for. And so here you go, 25% duty cycle. That's pretty rock solid, despite the fact that the injectors were pretty filthy. That should be giving you no problems. One of the favorite things for people who are sort of against Snake Eater Performance, they're generally remote tuners. And for some reason they kind of have a personal vendetta against us or whatever, and who knows why. They always like to say it doesn't matter what it does on the diagnostic machinery, it matters what it does on the car. Well, yeah, if you have truly objective, people in the mix, once you eliminate that human element and you have, what I would describe as epistemologically sound circumstances, then yeah, I would agree with that. But, when you're, $14,000 diagnostic machinery is literally the best one you can purchase. Says that the injectors are fine. I think you have to also reconsider the sort of human element there. So this is our very low pulse width test. Like I said, we're looking for around 1.5 to 1.8 would be ideal. That's the top end of the short pulse adder nonlinear zone area, and what we really want is to see some good consistency here, because this is where your offset, your injector dead time, is going to really matter a lot, and whether or not they all have a similar offset. And so here you go, you can already see it's shaping up pretty well, unless one of these just kind of throws a random oddball number out there and looks like absolutely terrible, then you should have no problems with these things at all. I mean, that's within 2% right there. At the hardest one, that's by far the hardest pulse width for us to match at. And then so we're going to protect the customer's information here. Again, this is for him. Again, they get the uncut, unedited videos when their stuff comes back, and usually we just keep them to ourselves, but a lot of times they take to the internet and try to write us a 1-star review, and they try to say that we're thieves and all kinds of stuff. And it's always funny. It's always the people that have the worst looking injectors that like to take to the internet and try to write us a 1-star review, and then they always want to say like, well, I'll take the review down if you refund me my money. And yeah, I'm not going to do that. My team will do that, but I'm not going to do that. If I'm working customer service, man, I'm not doing that for you. That's rude, and I'm not going to give into that culture. That's pathetic. Well, anyways, thanks for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. That is Snake Eater Performance exclusive behind the scenes access on how we go above and beyond to get our average 1-star review. It really means a lot to us when people who are rude and unsavory write us these reviews, and we love making these videos. I've been having trouble making content lately, so I'm very happy to finally have something to put on YouTube. Thank you guys. Enjoy.